Hi, this is Rebecca Robbins, and this is my demonstration speech for Principles of Public Speaking. And the purpose of this speech is to inform you guys about the use and steps and effectiveness of hands-only CPR. First, let me tell you how I came about this information. I am a certified first aid and CPR instructor through the American Heart Association. I've been teaching first aid and CPR classes for about a year. And in order to be able to teach, I had to attend a 16-hour training and take 2 online classes in order to be able to get certification to be an instructor. I did this through a previous employer, and I do it part-time now while I'm in school. So that's where I have gotten this information. So now I'm going to tell you a little bit about CPR and tell you about hands-only CPR and tell you about the effectiveness of it and give you some information in case you are motivated to find out more, maybe become certified yourself in CPR or first aid. So I'm going to go ahead and get started here. CPR is defined by the American Heart Association as cardiopulmonary resuscitation. It's a pattern of chest compressions and rescue breathing that's proven effective at saving lives and moves oxygenated blood from the heart to the brain in a person who has stopped breathing and their heart has stopped. The pattern includes 30 chest compressions and 2 rescue breaths, and this is effective at maintaining life or restarting a heartbeat. CPR is a psychomotor skill that's extremely physical in nature. It requires an enormous amount of practice to build confidence and also to build, embed the memory and be able to have the ability to use the skill in a crisis situation. It's usually taught in a formal class that's around 2 hours long. And this is to help students, learners have enough time to practice the skill and really be able to memorize the sequence of a traditional round of CPR. The American Heart Association has really worked to increase the number of people who are willing to respond in an emergency situation and perform CPR because a lot of people are afraid to give CPR. Some people don't want to give rescue breathing to a stranger. They don't want to put their mouth on someone they don't know. Maybe they don't have a barrier device, which is a mask that goes over a victim's face. Maybe the victim is bleeding, or there's some other reason why they would not want to do rescue breathing. And some people are just simply afraid to make a mistake or hurt the person. So the American Heart Association did some revision to simplify the CPR steps, and they also introduced a new initiative, which is the hands-only CPR technique. Hands-only CPR is very simple. It's an alternative to traditional CPR in some cases, and it requires no rescue breathing at all. It also requires no formal training. It's often coached over the phone by emergency personnel. It can be practiced at home, and there is a video that you can watch on the internet if you wanted to practice. I'm going to demonstrate it for you today. The 2 steps are simply, first, call 911 and notify them of the emergency that you have a victim who's not breathing and their heart is not beating. And 2, give chest compressions. Chest compressions continue until someone arrives to help you. So I'm going to demonstrate the chest compressions for you. The big thing with chest compressions is just making sure your hands are in the right place, that your chest compressions are hard, that you're pressing the chest deep enough, you're letting the chest come back to rise completely before pressing again. I'm going to do 30 compressions because that's a normal round of CPR is 30 compressions. And I'm going to count aloud because you'll be able to hear the speed of compressions because that's a typical speed for CPR. You probably don't want to go much faster than that or you will just wear yourself out because it is a physical activity. So I'm going to go ahead and do it. Go ahead and demonstrate for you guys. So I've found this victim lying down on the ground. Somebody please go call 911 and notify them that we have a victim who's not breathing and their heart's not beating. I'm going to put my hands on the proper placement on the victim's chest, which is right in the center. One hand on top of the other, and I'm going to begin my compressions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Now the speed of compressions is normally around 100 per minute. So you can see you could get worn out pretty quickly. And as I said, you would continue that until someone came to help you or until you got a response from the victim. Excuse me. So is this technique effective? If you're not providing a rescue breath to the victim, are you going to be able to help them? Well, the AHA says that this is effective in helping victims. There is oxygen that remains in the bloodstream when a person stops breathing and their heart stops beating. And by doing chest compressions, you are able to move that oxygenated blood throughout their heart to their brain. And because they're not moving, they really need a small amount of oxygen in order to sustain their body. This technique is not effective on infants, children, or adults who have been unconscious for long periods of time. So if you aren't present when the adult loses consciousness, this is not a good technique. They would need rescue breaths because they wouldn't have that remaining oxygen in their body. Basically, in conclusion, if this information has motivated you to learn more about CPR in general, or to learn about hands-free, hands-only CPR, then there is a great website, which is handsonlycpr.org, and you can check that out to get more information. You can also call 1-877-AHA-4CPR to find information about CPR classes if you're interested in becoming certified. But basically, this is a great technique, and it provides you the ability to help save a life with very little knowledge. And it's a great thing to know how to do, just in case you ever needed it. So if you guys have any questions about hands-only CPR or any other questions about CPR in general, feel free to leave me a message on the coffee house, and I will try to respond or find the answer for you. And I appreciate your attention, and I can't wait to see your videos. Thanks.